Hi Wolfpack, this is CWG, and welcome to Command Wolf Gaming. Now, before we get into the wrap-up of the Pax East convention podcast thing that I did, I really want to talk about two games that we didn't get a chance to talk about in the other podcast between me and Rambo. He's not here right now. He lives in Massachusetts. I live in New Jersey, so would be very, very hard to meet up and do this little recording together. So basically, I'm going to be reading off his points, and I'm going to be telling my likes and dislikes for these two games that I'm going to be talking about before the wrap up, which includes another game that we played, as well as a little bit of an issue that we had with the panel at PAX East. Now, the game that we're going to be talking about is called what's it called now? Yeah, lost train of thought. It's Nite Team 4. That's the first game we're going to be talking about. We actually stumbled upon this in the indie booth section. Now, before I go into my likes and dislikes, I'm going to actually tell you what the game's about, and then I'm going to move into Rambo's likes and dislikes, and I'm going to either agree or disagree with him. So, alright, so the game is about hacking, and I'm not talking about like the GTA 5 hacking or the Sly Cooper Bentley hacking or the hack tag hacking. It's not like fictional hacking. This is real hacking scenarios that this company came up with. In fact, this company is contracted out by the government to train government employees to hack. So there's your information right there. They are they're contracted out by the government themselves to train people to hack. So this is the top of the line hacking game that you're going to get, and it's all based on real life scenarios and everything like that. Now, let's get into the likes and dislikes of Rambo. Now, his point number one, based on real life scenarios, which I do like that as well. A game from a company that actually trains in hacking for the government. This is point number two he made. I actually do like that too, because you're not dealing with a fictional type setting to it. You're dealing with actual hacking stuff, like by a government facility. Near a government facility, I'm going to say near, but a company that knows how to do the hacking properly and what is what and so on and so forth. Point number three that Rambo made: multiplayer based, where each player controls one thing for the entire team. Now, this game is not only multiplayer based, but it's also single player based as well. So it has that two options. So the multiplayer base is a little bit more complicated than that. Let's say one person has to hack a firewall, another person has to hack the information, let's say a certain computer file, right, to get the information that they're looking for. That is what at least the producer that was there was talking about. Basically, one person controls one thing or does one thing to allow the other hacker to do the other thing, or vice versa, and I think it's probably 2 or 4 players. He didn't really tell us how many players it was, but I'm assuming it's at least 2 players. He also pointed out no other fun hacking games out there, and that is, I kind of agree with that. There is no real hacking games out there as far as I know. I know one game is called Hack Tag. I never got to play it, but it's mostly based on multiplayer, and since I don't have a lot of friends that actually have Steam, I haven't been able to try it myself, or else I would be playing it on the channel. So the next point is another fun hack that he made for likes is it will be available on Steam that's basically Microsoft, Mac, Linux, and whenever it comes out. So basically, all the computer formats that you can think of, unless you come up with your own individual computer format. It will be coming out for and be able to use. And I'm betting that since it's going to be out on Steam, a lot of Steam games are both PC and Mac applicable. And Linux, I never seen a computer run on Linux, so I'm not too sure about that. So I don't know how Linux runs. And you can say I'm not a real computer guy, but even my friend, he uses Windows, and my other friend uses Mac. So get over it. Anyway, so I kind of agree with that. That's kind of fun. It's not going to be on a console. That's the one thing. A lot of my friends play console games, and I'm pretty much the only one among maybe 2 people that I know that actually play on PC. So, well, it's neither here or there, honestly. So anyway, I do agree with multiple points that Rainbow made, based on real life scenarios. So like real hacking skills. This is a government contracted facility that trains hackers so they know what they're doing and know what they're talking about when they are putting this information in the game. It's multiplayer based, so you can have fun with a friend. It's not just going to be like a single player type thing. We don't see a lot of hacker games out there, so this would be a nice change of pace. And since I'm a Steam guy, it would be nice to have it on Steam and not lose information. Now, what he dislikes about the game. No definite release date. The producer, when we talked to him, the producer said, or developer, or I don't know, he did say he doesn't have a definite release date. He was shooting for fall, but it's mostly when he feels the game is ready. The one thing I don't like about that is that then the game might never be ready, for the sheer fact that since technology is always being updated, hacking skills are always being updated to match the technology, and it just kind of defeats the purpose. Unless you're going to create a whole bunch of DLC, there's really no point in really following up the game or even producing the game to begin with, if you're going to be doing it on your own hunch. Now, pretty much what I just said here. Rambo said may not even come to fruition, and may never be released. I just stumbled on that word. Like I was saying, they might never release it because of the ever-evolving technology and everything. So, yeah, that's no good to be telling people. They also said not sure what the multiplayer will be capable of. So they weren't too definite about what the multiplayer was going to be. They were implementing it, but I guess since they're still kind of in development of the game, they have no idea what they're really doing with the multiplayer. And another thing is, they definitely did say that they don't have a red versus blue function implemented yet on the game. So you can't even like verse somebody in the game. You just got to play along with them. There was no demo to try. That's the next point by Rambo, and that's kind of like an unnerving. When we passed by the booth, it was quite literally just the name of the group. I think Allison Smith, right? And they had a trailer that was somewhat like a trailer but not really like a trailer going on, and it was blasting. And when I say blasting, I mean it was very loud. Like people were avoiding the booth because of how loud the sound was. I honestly felt bad for the booths that were centered around that game area, just because of how loud it was. And again, they didn't have a demo. They didn't even have like really too much information on it. They had like a very small pamphlet and a couple people that you can talk to. That's how much information they had on it. And the last one, the company mentioned this game is not their top priority, so we're not sure what the finished product will look like. This is true. The company did mention that since they are contracted out by the government, they're more worried about dealing with the government contract than actually producing this game. So why would they follow up on the game, when they are basically working for the government? And so this leads back to issue 1 and 2, no release date, and it may never be released. So it's just like, I asked Rambo for a score. Rambo said he gave a 0. And the 0 on our scale, at least, on both of our scales, mean that we can't really rate this. And the reason why we can't rate this, we didn't have a demo to play. They were really hesitant on a lot of the details of what the game's going to be totally like, and they didn't even really have a release date. So, but I gotta say, this kind of got me a little excited, because I do like intelligent like games, not all the time where it gets you thinking, but this is kind of upsetting that they don't have a full amount of information to be able to even present to anybody, especially since they're at a big convention like Pax East and set up their booth in the indie section. If they were gonna, they might as well just stay in hiding a little bit more until they get more information. Okay, everyone, what everyone has been waiting for is information about State of Decay 2. And let me tell you, they did have this playing at the Microsoft booth at PAX East, along with Sea of Thieves and another game that I can't remember, probably because I have already and really didn't care. So State of Decay 2, like I did before, I'm not actually, you guys, there's enough information about State of Decay 2 out there that I really don't even have to describe the game. So I'm just going to go into the likes and dislikes of Rainbow, then move into my likes and dislikes of the game. So, like number 1, zombie game, which focuses not just on killing waves of zombies, but about building and saving your community. Like number 2, you have to literally build a safe zone from supplies and keep it safe from zombies. You have to go scavenge for supplies and people, as those are limited resources within your community. Point number 3, multiplayer with friends will add a great depth to the game. Build a community of survivors together. Point number 4, you have to think smart to survive. You can't just use all your bullets. I like the melee feel of the game. I thoroughly enjoyed beating zombies with my baseball bat. Point number 5, nice graphics and a great buy for $30. This was all points made by Rambo, or at least what he has sent me to tell you guys. Now, for the dislikes of the game, after playing the game, didn't actually get to try the multiplayer feature at PAX, had to play individually even though I went in with you. 2, there are a lot of mechanics to the game which I didn't get to enjoy with 10 minutes of gameplay. Needed a lot of more time. I could have gone back, but the lines were too long. That was point number 2. He didn't give it any more points than, at least for the dislike side, and he gave it a 9 out of 10. Now, my likes and dislikes about the game. I got a lot more dislikes than I do likes. First off, I'll go into the couple of likes that I do like about the game. I do agree with Rainbow in regards that it's not a typical zombie game. It's about building and saving your community, maintaining your community, finding supplies and stuff, scavenging for people, or finding people and everything. And it has a multiplayer function to the game. What I didn't like about the game, actually, the one last thing I'll agree with Rambo on is the graphics. The graphics kind of remind me of Ghost Recon Wildlands, and if you haven't watched that on our channel, we actually have multiplayer weekend, and we usually stream it on Twitch. Then we would take maybe a portion of the recording or some of the recording and put it up on YouTube. Honestly, when I stream, I'm trying to stream to all the platforms. I got Mixer, Twitch, and also YouTube. And I use special software for that. But if you guys have a Twitch account or a Mixer account, you can just look for Twitch. On Twitch, you go to Command Wolf Gaming. Actually, I will even put a link down in the description for you guys too. And on Mixer, you go to Command Wolf 426. That's my Mixer account that you can follow me on. That is if you have a Mixer. Now, so what I dislike about this the game, I feel like it's not following the typical zombie notion of zombies. Now, when I think of a zombie, I think of it as someone that is dead and has come back to life through the use of magic. And with them coming back to life, they are not all there and can be considered a zombie. They're basically mindless beings. We can even see this in Hotel Transylvania and Hotel Transylvania 2, in some older zombie movies about zombies and stuff like that, where they're being brought back from the dead, and the zombies are basically, they're decaying, they're very slow, body parts fall off them, and they're basically just, they're not very intelligent beings. They have to be instructed on every little thing. That's why we call people like sheep, that act like sheep, also zombies, because that's what they do. They just follow an order and carry it out. But anyway, so what else I don't like this I feel like that every zombie game I run into, or extension like a DLC, is always the same exact type of feature. It's either a virus or a mutation through some science or a manipulation of a virus or something that leads these people to become zombie-esque, but not actual zombies. And I say zombie-esque because they always have like glowing eyes, they're always super fast, or they're super mutated, like they have stuff growing out of them, or they do some weird stuff like melt through walls or whatnot. So, like, even the Resident Evil franchise, that's actually one of the reasons why I don't like the Resident Evil franchise. It's because it doesn't make sense. I don't consider it a zombie game. I consider it a shooter game, and that is all I'm going to say about that. Now, the other thing is, yes, there was only 10 minutes to the game. Me and Rambo didn't get to explore every aspect of the game, and that is like a major downfall on maybe Microsoft's end in regard to that. But, you know, if you have enough interest in it, you can always look for more additional gameplay or more information, or maybe trailers that you can watch and get some more information on. Not going to hold that on over Microsoft's head for a 10-minute demo. They were doing it with all their games there. The next thing is, I did not like the feel of combat. And the reason why I did not like the feel of combat is because the control scheme sucked. And when I say sucked, I mean it sucked. For even the simplest fact of reloading your weapon, you had to aim down sight. Who freaking set that up? I really want to talk to the developers about that. Like, really? In all the FPS games in the world so far, you don't have to aim down sight just to reload your gun. Call of Duty, Battlefield, any of the Call of Duty games, Battlefield, any of the Battlefield games, Rainbow Six games, Splinter Cell, Ghost Recon, what else? What else can I say? Overwatch, Medal of Honor, bunch of games. You don't have to aim down sights in order to reload your weapon. Now, that's one thing I didn't like about the controller setup. And the other thing that I didn't like about the controller setup, you had no idea how to even get to your inventory. I was trying to figure out how to drop an item because I didn't want to carry it anymore because I wanted to pick something else up. Like, really? Come on. Come on, give me something new. I'd rather be playing, Far Cry. You know, and at least maybe in Far Cry you can take weapons or additional supplies and pack it in the back of a vehicle, which are readily available around. So I like there wasn't enough information to do that. They gave us a sheet and we had to like basically memorize where all the controls were. In order to even fire your gun, you had to aim down sights to fire your gun. You couldn't just hip fire. And not saying that hip firing is bad, good or anything. Um, as we know, if anybody played Gears of War, if you hip fire, or even Call of Duty, or Rainbow Six, or Battlefield, if you hip fire, you are least likely to hit something. But in a zombie game where a whole bunch of zombies come and attack you, I don't think you care because they're all in the same area, typically. And so if you're aiming down sights, guess what? You have less area that you can see around you, and you can get attacked by a zombie. And look, during my 10-minute gameplay, I couldn't figure out any of the buttons. I literally, like maybe in the last 5 minutes, learned how to throw a grenade. And it wasn't even a grenade. It was a Molotov cocktail, but still, it was more or less me dropping it on the ground and lighting my butt on fire. So that is a major downfall for the game. For me, honestly, I'm not even looking forward to the game. Even though it is a feeling of Ghost Recon Wildlands esque, that third person aspect. You can go anywhere, do anything, kind of like Mercenaries Playground of Destruction on PlayStation, which was another good game that I like to play, or Grand Theft Auto. It just, I don't know, I like the whole idea behind the base survival, right? Building up your bases and locations and everything. I like those aspects of the games. Even in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and I think Revelations, you built up bases and everything, and you train people. I like that whole aspect of the game. But for 10 minutes of demo, I just did not like it. Did not give me like enough time to even like the game. Like. I'm just kidding. It didn't give me enough of a chance to even like the game, or even like Rambo said, we didn't have a chance to do multiplayer. And it was kind of funny because they were going down the line and said, we need one person, your group, okay, we need just one person to try the game. And you would think that they had one side set up as 4 people or maybe 2 people for multiplayer, then the rest set up for singles. So I don't know, maybe that again, we didn't get to try multiplayer. It was 10 minutes and a whole lot to consume in 10 minutes, rushing to learn the controls and everything. I'm sure that with given time, you can learn the controls and play the game. But to me, this game does not hold up for me. I will be giving it a 5 out of 10. And honestly, I don't want to give it any lower because I'm still giving it a shot. But I have no interest in this game whatsoever. I've seen trailers of it, I've seen gameplay of it, and it hasn't sparked my interest at all. And me playing the game, it didn't help at all either. So, without further ado, we're actually going to move into the next section, which is actually the recording that me and Rambo made while we were driving back from Pax East on that day, where we were talking about the Forge Arena game, and also we were talking about the panels and the situations we had in the panels, the 2 panels that we went to. Now, for more information, I am actually going to put links to the games down below in the detail section. If it's a Steam game and it's on Steam, it will also be there. If there's a website for it, I'll put that in there as well. I also did this with the previous episode, so if you guys had an interest in any of the games mentioned, you can feel free to go in there. And I apologize for the other episode that I did, the other podcast episode. Me and him were actually on our way back to the convention center, and since we didn't have the paperwork in front of us, we kind of we forgot the names. Obviously, if you only have less than 10 minutes, or 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes to actually play a game, you don't tend to remember it. So, which is actually one of the games we played, I think. I don't know. Anyway, so let's move on to the next section. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast from here. And if you have any comments in regards to what you liked, if you saw anything or heard anything that you liked, leave it in the comment section down below. If you had something that you disagree with me on, maybe something about State of Decay 2, leave it in the comment section down below. I want to hear from you guys, my wolf pack. So, yeah, see you later. Hey, everyone. We just wrapped up here. This is CWG and Rambo.
Hello, everybody.
We just wrapped up with Pax East today, which is Sunday. It's the last day for 2018. We're currently heading home, or what would be home. We did one panel today, and we pretty much just walked around the show floor, got to see things we didn't get to see on Thursday. And we actually got to try one more game this PAX East before we decide to wrap up. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start into the game that we actually played, or do you want to go into the panels like the issues with the panels?
Let's start with the game.
All right. So the game we played, I think me and Rambo here, we actually hit it at a good point.
Yeah.
The game is called The Forge Arena. And it's kind of like a Halo-esque
multiplayer, 5 against 5, red versus blue battle.
Exactly. And they kind of have that CSGO feel to it, too, where you have to buy your weapons. Because I remember, I never played CSGO, but I know in CSGO you got to buy the weapons. But it has that futuristic feel like Halo. Now, they said that this game was still in pre-alpha, and it's moving into alpha, and it was actually quite fun. I had fun with it. Yeah.
But all it was is essentially 5 against 5. They had the station was set up nicely, or the exhibit was set up nicely, where we all each had nice computers, chairs, everything was all hooked up. We even had a host who was more or less talking about the gameplay live while everyone was battling one another. And that was it. We only got one. We played one. It was 3 rounds in total, but it was on one map, and we just killed each other.
Yeah.
It also kind of had a King of the Hill.
It was King of the Hill, right? But you either captured the hill and hold the hill, or you killed all your opponents. Since we didn't have a lot of play to deal with it or find out how to actually do everything. It was just kind of like very bland off the bat, but it was still kind of exciting. I guess with having a host there and everything, it made everything much more exciting, than just sitting down by yourself and playing simple campaign map, at least. Yeah. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the new game that's coming out, Anthem, which you wear power suits like in Halo, right? But it really wasn't. It's more Earth-based.
It sounds like it just reminds you of Halo.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. There we go, Halo. So it's Halo. It's low-res Halo.
The suits look like Spartan suits.
Yeah.
And it's just red against blue. So, it pretty much feels a lot like it, but, this is also pre-alpha stage, so hopefully they add some more of their own customization or their own flair to it to make it its own game, The Forge. We don't even know what the game is about, really. Just that's all we did was just a multiplayer battle.
Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be another game like CSGO or Overwatch or Team Fortress 2, where it's just basically you come in, you buy your weapons, then you kill the opponent, and that's pretty much the gameplay right there. That's what it felt like. I'm not sure if they're going to be adding a campaign or if it's just going to be like that for now. But if I had to give it a rating, I would give it a 7 out of 10. And like Rainbow and I said before, 7 is kind of like we're interested in it, but we still need to see more. What about you, Rainbow?
Yeah, I'd give it the same. I'm interested, but maybe just a little slightly less interested.
So, yeah. So, like a 6.5, you would say?
Probably. Yeah, because I feel like there's so many games just like that, and I'm just looking for something different. at this point in life. So
yeah, I can kind of feel you on that one. So then the next thing we did, we didn't do much as in like playing any games. We just more explored around. We saw a couple different VR games. I'm the only one out of the group that knows that has a PC that can play VR on my channel. So I found interest in it, but I wasn't like overly like saw anything that I was like highly interested in. So I wouldn't say there was anything coming out that would be like, oh yeah, this is perfect, great VR game. I have no idea. I know Oculus, and I know a bunch of other YouTubers are doing something with Oculus in regards to a RTS board game they're coming out with. But that was like the biggest thing there, and I've actually seen that already at E3, so it wasn't like a big shock to me, to say the least. Now, I want to talk about the panels. Now, me and Rambo, we went to 2 panels, and that's all we did. We went to 2 panels. One was on Thursday and one on today, right? And the content was kind of blandish, but it wasn't made for us. So because we kind of know what we were doing, even though we did have questions in the long run, but it was just like I could have easily probably found out by talking to somebody else in regards to it, you know, instead of sitting in a panel for a whole hour wasting my time. However, I want to talk about the people not being able to ask questions. Now, Rambo knows this. I was actually complaining about this on Thursday because we went to the one panel and they said, we want you to ask a question. We don't want your background. We don't want to know, pretty much they don't want to know anything about you. We just want to hear the question so we can answer it. That was great, you know? But these people still went up to the mic, and the first guy, he's like, oh, can I give you a little bit of my background? And like everybody that was in line are like, just ask the question. And the host was like, no, we said that specifically. And this panel was supposed to be like to help awkward streamers or podcasters or YouTubers to network better. And the reason why I went there is to just figure that I might be able to network with other people, but it wasn't really what I was picturing, honestly. And it was just like they stated that in their talk on with this kid, right?
Yeah.
So and it just felt like they wasted some. And then
I think the general theme of what you're talking about is with all the panels, or at least the 2 panels that we went to, a lot of people ended up wasting a lot of time when it came to asking questions because they wanted to share a backstory. They had long, drawn-out sentences trying to explain what their question actually was.
Exactly, like I was just doing. Like, yeah. I didn't get to the point.
And that was kind of frustrating because we met a few people who were also very frustrated at the fact that they didn't get a chance to ask their questions or meet the panelists because people took up so much time. And maybe it's just because those people don't really know how to ask a question, which sounds kind of funny, but it's just all about more or less taking up time where other people could use to ask their own questions.
Exactly, like they didn't like you were saying, they probably didn't know how to ask their question, and they feel like they had to give a little bit of their backstory to ask the question. And,
yeah, I think they're trying to get other people to understand why they're asking a question, but in reality, those panelists and other people don't care what their backstory is. They just want to know what the question is, because for the most part, everyone could probably guess or relate to whatever it is the question is.
Exactly.
So,
and I was kind of lucky because at this last panel, somebody else asked a question, and it was kind of similar to what I was going to ask, and they got their answer. So I was like, okay, I don't have to ask my question anymore. But still, the next guy, they said, okay, we have one more time for one more guy to one more person to ask a question, and they selected the guy, and he was like, I have no idea why I'm here, and he's like, I guess I'll ask a question for the guy in the middle. Now, up on the screen, they had all the panelists' names, right? And all you had to do was look up and be like, can I please ask this question for this guy or this person? And it was just like, show a little disrespectful, I guess, right? So, I don't, like, what do you think?
It's just, it's a little disrespectful to whether it's the panelists or other people who are trying to ask a question when you start off your question with, I don't know why I'm here, and then you ask a question that the panelists answer during the presentation. It's just, please pay attention, because there is a group of other people behind you who potentially want to ask serious questions, and that's why they're here, because they know why. You know, they're here for a reason too. So.
And this kind of annoyed me because, me personally, it annoyed because this guy, he was like, they answered the question already in the panel. We sat there for an hour and they said it, you know? And it's just like you didn't pay attention. Why, you know? Then I also felt like it's also partially, like, since you only get like 5 to 10 minutes to ask a Q&A question and get an answer in panels. That's all the panels I went to. They really don't have a lot of time for you to ask a question. Then you got 20 people running up trying to ask their question, right? And a lot of people get disappointed. That's what happened to the one guy we were talking to. He 3 times in a row they cut it off right at him. So it was just like, I can see the disappointment when they cut it off on him. And I think so. The panels definitely need more time for Q&A. Another thing I also saw, which you agreed with me when we originally talked about this, the panelists, each one has stated something. Instead of being like, okay, great, who can better answer this question, and have one single panelist answer, then somebody else, if somebody has something to add, then they can add their opinion, instead of saying one person giving an answer, then another person say, oh yeah, I totally agree with what you said, I did the same thing, and repeating the same thing.
Yeah, so what you're saying is when the panelists were answering questions, instead of having every panelist answer the question, have them choose one panelist who feels like they can answer the question the best.
Yeah.
And then go from there. If maybe another panelist wanted to quickly jump in, let them quickly jump in. But otherwise, just let one panelist answer, so that way they can fit in more questions for the other guests who want to ask questions.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say here. I know I'm long-winded.
But no, I agree with that. Instead of having everyone answer, because the panelists, they're very knowledgeable. They want to share all their information with everybody, but they also have long answers, each one of them. But if one of them just had the best response for that specific individual, have them answer, and then maybe have other people just quickly summarize. But you just keep it one-to-one in that regard, like one panelist, one answer, and then go from there. But it is helpful to get other people's viewpoints, so I understand why other people want to jump in, the other panelists want to jump in.
Yeah.
But just to help move things along, it might be better.
And it's kind of hard sometimes, because some of these panels are made up of like 5 to 6 people, and others are made up of 3.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's great to hear everybody's opinion, but it's also quite annoying when you have your own question to ask.
Yeah.
So, and I'm only saying this because I know in the first panel we went to, I had my own question to ask, and where somebody else, I felt like they wasted their time. And this one, I was lucky to hear a similar question and get my answer that I was looking for. It was just like, really, now, again, it's not the panelist's fault. It's really the host. The host could just say, okay, who can, all he has to say is, hey, look, who can best answer this question? Have the panelists answer the question and move on from there. Mm-hmm. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is basically, it was another thing about the panelists, too. It feels like they title the panels, right? Making you think it's something else. They even write like a detailed description, making you feel like it's something else. But then when you go there, it really is not what you're looking for. That's actually, remember our buddy in the first panel when we went to, he had that issue. Like, he went to one about streaming, right? And he wanted to, he listened to the streamers that they had on the panel, but they really did not answer the question he had, and he didn't get to ask his question. Then when he went to the networking one, which we went to, and they still didn't answer his question, even though he thought it would be best to even connect there, because he was trying to build up his channel as well. So it's just like really weird titling. I think they have to work on their titles of the panels themselves too. So
yeah, I mean, at least with the networking panel, really quick to hit that one of the panelists did spend time with a lot of the guests there afterwards. Like, after the panel ended, she pulled a lot of people aside to, like, she opened it up for anyone who had questions and wanted to meet with her more one-on-one, which you got a chance to actually speak with her.
yeah, I actually waited for like 10 minutes.
But there was a large crowd because there was, they didn't get a lot of questions asked because they only took, I think, 3 that day. And then, but it was nice of her to spend like an additional half an hour plus to actually meet with a large group of people afterwards, which you included, were able to then ask questions and get some more inside tips from her. So
now I do got something to say, because when I was standing in that group, there was actually a couple people that just wanted to meet her and take a picture with her. And I feel that's fine, but when she said, I'm going to be staying close by after the panel so I can answer more questions, that's not like a really appropriate time to go and be like, let me take a picture with you. And again, you were just in a panel about awkward networking. It's just, you don't do that. It's just like, why would you do that?
I feel like at that point, though, because at least everything is, the panel's done, it's wrapped up, it could potentially be okay. But she
dictated that,
allows it or not, though.
Yeah, she dictated, I'm going to be taking more questions after the panel. She's saying, hey, look, I'm going to be staying over here to take more questions for the people that didn't get their questions answered. She specifically said that. She didn't say, oh, I'm going to stay over here and take some pictures with you.
But did she let people take pictures?
Yeah, actually a couple people.
So then if she was okay with it, then.
Yeah. So, but again, like in the networking thing, they said, be nice, but kind of like shut them down too. Like, get over with, but you got to pay attention to one thing. So even when we moved, right, I just wanted to say thank you, right? And she ended up, like, we had to be moved to a different section because they had another people coming in and everything. It would just, like, cause confusion. And I just, like, somebody else started asking a question, and I just, like, waved my head, said, thank you, and just left. So, and she said, oh, yeah, good luck and yada, yada, yada. It's just filler. Anyway, overall, Pax East wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. Obviously, with every the convention needs to work on something. I think the panels are one thing, and this is from my experience from going to New York Comic Con and having to deal with the panels. Pax East, Boston Comic Con, Anime Boston. So, anyway, we're going to wrap it up here, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in today here on Command Wolf Gaming. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Say goodbye, Rambo.
All right, everyone. Thanks for having me, CWG, on the podcast. I really appreciate it. PAX East was fun. Can't wait until next year. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so see you guys next time. As always, like, subscribe, share, spread the love, and I hope to see you next time here on Command Wolf Gaming. Hey everyone, this is CWG with Command Wolf Gaming, and I'm here with Rambo.
Hello, everybody.
And, we kind of wrapped this up, but we actually forgot to add this little bit in here. We want to know what you guys think of PAX East. What you guys, if you intended PAX East, want to see at PAX East. I know next year, I kind of want to see more VR games. And, like, hopefully better VR games than what we saw this year. They were kind of, like, really low res, I would say,
I didn't really get a good look at too many of the VR games and platforms, but it'd be nice to actually have more stations and more headsets available so more people could try. I know Oculus, they dedicated a whole meeting room for a lot of their
They had the meeting room outside, and then they also had a booth inside the main arena.
Facebook.
So that was actually pretty good. Honestly, I don't want to see Amazon Go or Facebook there, because I know Facebook has the whole Facebook gaming there, but it just, I don't know. I don't feel like it fits.
Well, it is gaming.
Well, it's cell phone gaming. Mobile gaming.
Oh, there's so many mobile gaming.
There was a lot of mobile gamings this year. So I know the one mobile game that we're playing is Mini Guns. Me and you were addicted to that right now.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun, and it's on PC.
It's on PC. That's right, and it's free.
Yeah,
free on PC and on handheld. But yeah, I don't consider mobile gaming. But then, honestly, if you play a game, it's a game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the future CWG.
But yeah, I do hope to see more VR stuff, and I'm really looking for more good VR stuff, or maybe some gear for VR other than the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive, and maybe a couple off-brand VR headsets. But I'm really looking forward to more interactive gear things that you can use with the VR headsets. So that's what I'm really hoping for. What about you, man?
You know what? I'd love to see the indie booths continue to get bigger, because there's a lot of different developers out there with a lot of different games that I know I would have never heard of. So if they continue to do that, that'd be awesome. As well as the larger companies continue to feature more exclusive titles. I know I didn't really see too many exclusive titles out there. I mean, they did have Sea of Thieves, and I don't know if State of Decay is going to be an exclusive for Xbox.
Yeah,
but
Becoming Human for PS4.
Yeah, but just more than just two. Maybe they can have their own mini developers, like booths or something, represent it, or sponsored by Xbox.
Yeah, so
and some more exclusive titles from the games.
All right. It's kind of funny because you say indie games, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't even have Steam, because that's where a lot of the indie games are. Mm-hmm. But I know that Xbox is doing the whole indie game thing too. They launched some games onto their system for indie developers.
Hook a brother up. Give me a french fry.
Seriously, man?
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were recording. I thought you were just actually summarizing something.
Yeah, no, well, no, that's going to stay there. So, anyway. Yeah, so, the indie booths are kind of nice. I love going to the indie booths and seeing what's in the pipeline. And, talking to the different developers and things, learning about the games and such. But I feel like some games just miss. Right?
Of course, not every game's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Not every game's going to hit the mark that a gamer's looking for, but it will touch. Some games will get a small following, and that small following can always help them maybe even have a second run at a new game. Which can draw in more people. Who knows?
Exactly. So, I think that would be it for a wrap-up, So, because we kind of messed that original wrap-up now.
Oh, yeah. It's all fixed.
Yeah.
At this point, you spliced it so no one knows what the original mess up was.
Except for me.
Except for us.
So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in today here on Command Wolf Gaming. And let's say goodbye, Rambo.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All right. I hope everybody enjoyed this little podcast of PAX East 2018 here on Command Wolf Gaming. As always, if you have any comments or suggestions, or if you're hoping to see something next time in PAX East or E3 or another big gaming convention, just leave it down in the comment section down below. I want to hear what you guys think. And as always, like, subscribe, and share. Spread the love, and I hope to see you next time here on Command Wolf Gaming. Hey, everyone. I am CWG with Command Wolf Gaming, and this me and Rambo here.
Hello.
We're actually wrapping up for today. This is actually the final day of PAX East. We came to the convention Thursday, and we came here Sunday. Today, we got to explore a little bit more. Thursday, we kind of hit a couple panels, and we got sucked into some games, but not. Today, we kind of explored around a little more to see what we wanted to see, and hit up those things we couldn't hit Thursday. So we're just actually wrapping up here, and as you can see down on the show floor, there is still a lot of people around here. The show floor officially closes at 6 o'clock. It's about 4 o'clock now, so it's 2 hours until the end. But me and Rambo.
Yes, hey.
We pretty much hit up everything that we want to see. We talked to many different people from many different groups. Different
word about Command Gaming.
We hit a couple different developers. We saw a couple different things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I usually don't do vlogs, but yeah. What?
For this event, you needed to.
Yeah. For Rambo said, for this event, I really needed to. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in today here on Command Wolf Gaming. I hope you guys saw this and you liked it. As always, like, subscribe, and share. Spread the love. And I hope to see you next time here on Command Wolf Gaming. So until next time, see ya. Now keep your hand off that mouse, folks. We have so much more fun and exciting content on this channel that you guys and gals are missing out on, that it's not funny. So all you have to do is hit the big red subscribe button right down below this video. Also remember to hit the bell notification button. You can't miss it. It looks like the Taco Bell bell, just without any color. And with doing that, you are officially subscribed to my channel, Command Wolf Gaming, and will receive notifications on when new material is up on my channel for you guys and gals to view and enjoy. If you like what we are doing, hit the thumbs up button. If not, hit the thumbs down button. But remember to always leave a comment or a suggestion down below in the comment section. I want to know what you think, and I want to hear what you guys and gals want to see in the gameplay. But as always, folks, like, subscribe, share, and spread the love, and I hope to see you guys next time here on Command Wolf Gaming.